Right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Nigeria will overcome banditry, corruption through prayers. APC Group. The Confederation of All Progressive Congress support group says, with prayer, the country will overcome its challenges. The group's Director General, Kailani Muhammad, said this on Thursday night at the annual Iftar program organized for its members, friends, and associates in Abuja. Mr. Muhammad believed that with prayers, Nigeria would overcome the problems of kidnapping, banditry, corruption, and other vices that hinder its growth and development. The only few problems that we have as a country can be overcome with prayers. The issues of armed banditry, corruption, and inciting narratives, he said. He urged Christians and Muslims to use the Lent and Ramadan fasting period to pray for peace and unity in Nigeria. You see, you can't make these things up. When we say that the APC is a cost to Nigeria, we are stating nothing but facts. Look at the rate at which Nigeria is sinking, yet these people are not even worried. They are still bent on gaslighting Nigerians with the same old narrative of prayer. It proves clearly that they are happy with the sinking of the country. It is in fact their ultimate desire that the country should sink. If not, how do you solve the problem of banditry? With prayer. Go and get arms, get the sophisticated state-of-the-art arms that are used to combat banditry. Now, you will not get them. You will embezzle the money. Bullets that soldiers are using to combat these bandits, you count bullets for them. Meanwhile, bandits have bullets to spray anyhow they want. And you are saying that it is prayer that will solve this problem? The evil of the APC is beyond words. Now, let us look at the top stories. First, it is Senator IRETI Kingibe bowing to pressure from Nigerians after the backlash she got from Nigerians following her disgraceful appearance on Arise TV, where she backed Senator AKPABIO against Senator Natasha. FCT Minister IRETI Kingibe has now turned around to try to start backing Natasha, but Nigerians are saying no, it is too late. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, AKPABIO and the Senate itself backed down. Now they want suspended Senators Natasha and AKPABIO to come and appear before their corrupt committee in response to the pressure from Nigerians. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video, a very disgraceful video from the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Onyeka Onweboyi, is next. Let's take a look.
Well, things are getting better. It's almost infuriating to Nigerians, don't you think so?
Well, one thing you should not rule out is that inflation is part of economic indices that is not created or caused by government. There are some internal factors that bring about inflation. But it's the duty of government, to work around all these indices and make life better, for citizens. Now, if you come to power supply, you agree with me that we have made a very significant improvement in terms of power supply. You agree with me? I may not have the data here, but that is the truth. So, government having done that, we believe that over time, all those things will take care of itself. But as to whether things are difficult, I agree with you. Things are difficult. But those difficulties were not created by the present government. It is something that came up over time. But with the policies and programs of President Tinubu, I must tell you, Nigeria is on the rise.
There are a couple of other questions. I'm literally almost out of time. But I must ask you a few of them. And that has to do with electoral reforms.
Yes.
We've seen that a bill, I think it was yesterday, that was sponsored by a senator from Katsina,
yes,
who talked about early voting.
Exactly, for special people on special assignment.
People on special assignment. Now,
yes,
I want to know how politicians are viewing this, because we've made some improvements in our electoral system, but we have a lot of challenges within our electoral system, yes, that can be improved upon. And one of the things we're looking out for is the reform that this government is bringing into place to efficiently make sure that the process is transparent. It's great to have early voting. Why isn't the National Assembly pushing for a legislation to ensure that IREV has the same power or authority in terms of evidence of where we can get results from, like from EC 8A? Because yes, according to the Supreme Court, IREF is just a viewing portal. And if there was any innovation by INEC, it was the IREF to bring transparency and credibility.
Of course.
But INEC blew it in the last presidential election and has dampened confidence of the people. Why isn't the National Assembly pushing to insist that IREF is not going to be just a viewing portal, but part of the collating system so that we can have transparency?
Of course, IREF is one of the collecting points of result. In fact, it is most reliable result.
It's not tenable in court, by the way.
Well, I'm not a judge, but the essence of bringing that electronic form of result transmission is to ensure transparency in our electoral process. And it's part of the areas we are going to review. And outside that, we're also going to make election less expensive.
You heard that. According to Senator Onyeka, inflation is not caused by government. I don't know what he meant by inflation, but inflation, especially the one in Nigeria today, is caused by the obnoxious policies of this government. So I don't know who Senator Onyeka was unintelligently trying to gaslight there. And when he was asked about the IREF being made lawful, that is, being promoted from being an electoral act to being a constitutional provision, because if it remains an electoral act, INEC will come and say that they are the ones that will determine the part of the electoral act that they would utilize. But when it becomes a constitutional requirement, then it is stronger. Then you heard what he said. He said, I am not a judge. Oga, you are a lawmaker. It is the laws you make that judges interpret. It is in your hands. And knowing that, he quickly dodged the question of the IREF. He began saying they would also make elections less expensive. Excuse me, sir. That is not the point. Even if you spend 1 trillion on elections, just make laws that will allow for the people's votes to count. But they will never do it, except Nigerians rise across the 36 states to demand it fervently. Now, let us look at the top stories. First, is that shameful update from Senator IRETI Kingibe after she received serious backlash from Nigerians for backing Senator AKPABIO over Senator Natasha on Arise TV. Nigerians began saying they are going to make sure that she does not return to that Senate. Now she's trying to retrace her steps, saying she would champion Senator Natasha's sexual harassment case. And next is that update from the Senate itself. After unduly suspending Senator Natasha, the Senate is now saying they want Natasha to appear before their committee, a committee that has now been globally known, that has now been globally certified as endemically corrupt. Let's start by taking that update from Senator IRETI Kingibe. Look at how the papers reported it. I will champion Natasha Akpoti's sexual harassment case, IRETI Kingibe. IRETI Kingibe, the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, has vowed to champion the sexual harassment allegations made by Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the lawmaker representing Kogi Central. Akpoti-Uduaghan recently accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of making inappropriate advances towards her during a visit to his home in Akwa Ibom State. Her accusation followed a heated exchange with Akpabio over changes to her seating arrangement in the Senate. Initially, Kingibe had downplayed the significance of the seating arrangement controversy, stating that Akpoti-Uduaghan was not the only lawmaker affected and suggesting that the matter should not have been escalated. However, in an X statement posted on her X page on Friday, Kingibe clarified her position, dismissing claims that her earlier stance was intended to undermine Akpoti-Uduaghan's allegations. She explained that she had been unaware of the sexual harassment claims at the time. I am aware of the narrative that has been going around, and to set the record straight, my actions were not to undermine her claims, but to buttress that I was not aware in the first place of any such happenings, Kingibe stated. She reaffirmed her commitment to fighting all forms of violence against women and girls, stressing the importance of addressing sexual harassment and assault in Nigerian society. Notwithstanding, I remain steadfast in the fight against all forms of violence against girls and women. As a sitting senator, I will always defend the truth and fight to right all wrongs. Over the years, sexual harassment and assault have become commonplace in our homes and workplaces, Every Nigerian, irrespective of gender, ethnicity, or religion, should be committed to the struggle to end it as it affects all genders. Well, Senator IRETI Kingibe, when this whole thing happened, why did you not consult Natasha first? You said you called her and she didn't pick. How difficult was it for you to make sure that you heard from her first before jumping to Arise TV? When was the last time you came on air to talk about your constituency? Look at all the negative things going around, dilapidated structures and schools everywhere. You had nothing to say about those ones, but all you had to do was to run to Arise to come and castigate Natasha. Nigerians are not ready to hear anything from you again. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. Jay here says, Naso, Champions League. Too late, oh. You have seen yourself trending already. Now you want to please us. On your own for you come 2027. And Zola says, exactly my point too. She has seen the backlash on social media and she thinks she can fool us. And this tweet here by Well says, Natasha Akpoti is not a coward unlike IRETI Kingibe. She doesn't chicken out just for the gain of acceptance and material things. The truth is, Natasha is championing her matter full time. I am not sure she needs your championing skills. You, IRETI, have proven who you are. And this tweet here by True Democracy says, Auntie, it is too late. You signed for her suspension. You criticized her on social media. So what exactly are you going to champion? A lawless country full of injustice. Kendo here says, she's only saying this after millions of Nigerians, especially the obedient family, condemned her attack on Natasha Akpoti and her betrayal of the same woman who stood shoulder to shoulder with her during and after the case with Wike. You know, obedience brought IRETI Kingibe in, and obedience don't take nonsense. Anytime you side with the oppressors instead of the oppressed, you lose the obedience immediately. And that's exactly what has happened in the case of Senator IRETI Kingibe. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from the Senate began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Senate President AKPABIO, Natasha, to finally testify before Senate committee over alleged sexual harassment. Sahara reporters. The Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, SCEPPP, is set to hear testimonies from Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Kogi Central lawmaker Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan over allegations of sexual harassment. This was confirmed by the Senate Deputy Chief Whip Onyeka Chinweboyin during an appearance on Channels Television on Friday. According to Nweboyin, other senators who were present at the time of the alleged incident will also testify before the committee. All the parties involved would appear before the committee, including the Senate President. He would come and testify, and his testimony would be recorded. Likewise, other senators, Nweboyin stated. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, a member of the People Democratic Party (PDP), had alleged that Akpabio sexually harassed her during a visit to his residence in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State in December 2023. She claimed that during the visit, the Senate President held her hand, led her around the house, and made inappropriate advances towards her, even in the presence of her husband. The allegations have sparked controversy within the Senate and beyond. Well, I don't know how Senator Natasha Akpoti and her team are going to handle this, but for me, I think this is coming way too late. I see this as an attempt to ridicule Senator Natasha. They are looking for a way, to get a closure on the case, but they want that closure to be dictated by them. He's saying that all the parties will be there to testify. Everybody that will come to give testimony will ensure that the testimony they will give will conflict all that Natasha is saying. So it is not only going to be her words against the words of Senator Akpabio, it is going to be her words against the words of about 10 to 20 to 30 senators. So it is not really advisable. This same committee told her that her petition was dead on arrival. They have shown sufficient evidence that they are not ready to listen to her. These are the same people that have passed a vote of confidence in Akpabio already. And Bamidele stood up in the Senate to say that it is genuine cases that they should be attending to. They have already passed their verdict. What is the point in saying she should come and appear? They are just trying, they are already bowing to the pressure of Nigerians, and they want to look good before the people. But it's such a shame that they are not smart enough. If they were smart enough, they should have pretended as if, oh, this is a big case. This is a big allegation. AKPABIO, step aside. We have to investigate this. They should have been able to pretend, as if they were taking it seriously. Then they should have now gone underground to now rig the case. But they are not smart upstairs. They are not intelligent people. Now, just money misroad, just political position misroad, power misroad. No smartness upstairs, and that is why this country is where it is today. So, if I am to advise Senator Natasha Akpoti, I would say she should snub this invitation to come and appear before this ethics committee. Any other way that she thinks she can fight this case on her own, she should use every other route. But to go and stand before that ethics committee that has already passed a vote of confidence in AKPABIO, that has already called her petition dead on arrival, will be the wrongest thing to do. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.